Hey guys, this is Miss Hall. I am the art teacher from East York and Yorkshire Elementary Schools, and this week we are going to talk about bookbinding, which is one of my favorite things to do. So what I'll be showing you is how to create your own book, and in this book you're welcome to make it into what you would like it to be. Maybe you want it to be like a comic strip, maybe you want it to be a sketchbook or a journal, or somewhere where you just doodle, and that's great, that's awesome. I'm here to just show you how to make the actual structure. So for this week, we're gonna be doing something called an accordion book. And when you make something that's an accordion book, this one is just the blank pages. What I like about this is that you can still flip the pages just like a normal book, or you can open it all the way up and display it so that way you can see all of the pages at once. So this week we'll talk about how to fold these pages and how to glue them together so that way you can have a few pages to work with. And then next week we'll talk about how to add the hard covers on to the front and to the back of it. I want you to notice that all my pages right now are blank, but you're going to be able to fill it with whatever you would like to do. When I close this whole thing up, you'll see that I actually put an X on the front and also on the back. That is just a note to myself so I know not to draw anything right there, because that's where we're going to be gluing the covers. And if you draw something there, it's going to get covered up. Just a heads up. So let's jump in.
All right, so to make the pages for your mini book, all you'll need is a couple of pieces of paper. I have two pieces of paper right here that are stacked on top of each other. These are just normal computer paper, 8.5 by 11, but if you've got other sizes, you could use those too. But I am doing two at once because it just makes things a little bit easier. You're also going to need some glue. You can use the liquid glue, glue stick. If you've got tape, that would work as well. Anything that could stick two things together. You're going to need a pair of scissors and also a pencil. So to start, I have my two pieces of paper stacked on top of each other. Got them folded up nice and neatly, or stacked up nice and neatly. And what I'm going to do is I'll take these two pieces of paper and I'll fold them hot dog style or vertically, making sure to line those edges up before I press it down. And then that creates a nice line down the middle. And I'll use the scissors that I have here to cut right down that line. Trying my best to stay straight. Trying to keep this a nice clean edge. I don't want this to be jagged. Just gonna re-straighten that out. Don't want to lose track of where I am. All right. So now what that gives me is I have four pieces of paper that are all the same size and length, and I'm going to use these to fold into my book. Now, one thing we want to keep in mind is that for our book, we are using something called an accordion fold. An accordion fold means that our pages are going to zigzag like this. Here's what I like about accordion fold books. Number one, they still close up nice and neatly. You can still open the pages up just like a normal book and turn them. You could also display your book spread out like this on your counter, and that would work well also. And the other thing that I like about it is that it doesn't matter if you use Sharpies or markers, because it doesn't matter if it bleeds through onto the back. You don't even see the back of it. So that's sort of my case for accordion fold books. So here's how we do the accordion fold part of it. I'm going to take one of my pieces of paper and I will fold it in half the long way. Give that a nice fold. And that gave me just sort of a V. That's folded. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the edge of this paper and I'm going to fold it back towards that crease that I just made. Flip it over. Do the same thing. Take this little edge right here. Fold it back towards the crease that I just made. And what I did in making those three folds is I made a zigzag line. So I'll do that again so you can see what I mean. I'll leave that guy over there. I'm going to take another piece of paper, fold it in half. Ooh. Pick up the one edge, fold it back towards that crease that I just made. Flip it over, fold that back towards the crease that I just made. And you can do this with as many pieces of paper as you want. You can make your book as long or as short as you want it to be. I'm going to use 3 of these. And then what I'm going to do is I'll hold on to this extra one I have right here to use that to connect all of these together. So again, I've just folded that in half. I'm going to fold that back. Flip it over. Fold this back. And now I have my 3 accordion pieces that I need to connect together to make into one book. So in order to do that, I'm going to take this extra paper that I have right here, which I know is the same height as all of my other papers because they're all cut from the same paper. And I'm just going to cut 2 pieces. Put that to the side. I need it later. And these are going to be my connecting pieces. So let me show you what I mean. So right now, I'm going to take this accordion fold. I'm going to flip this one over because I want it to be a zigzag. I want it to be one continuous zigzag. So if I put them all together, you can see that my line goes down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. I've got them all sorted out. If you're holding them and you're looking at it like this and you're trying to figure out how you should put them together, just sort them out so that way you've got your nice zigzag lines ready to go. So what I need to do is I need to connect these pages to these pages. So to do that, I'll take these little pieces that I cut. I'm going to fold them in half. Let's do this one too. Doesn't matter if they're not perfect. And what's going to happen is I'm going to glue these right inside of here and create in bookbinding what's called a false fold. So it makes it look like it's one continuous piece of paper when really it is an added piece of paper. So I'll take my glue stick. If you have liquid glue, that's fine. Just don't use a ton because you don't want your pages to stick together. If you got tape, that would work as well. I'm going to put some glue on here. I'm going to take this. Stick it right in this fold. And then I'm actually going to take these pages and just squish them together. Just make sure that everything's lined up and that is where it needs to be. So that was one false fold. Now I'm going to use this guy to create my other false fold. So I'll put some glue. Think about these pieces of paper like you're creating a bridge from one zigzag to the next one. I see that those line up that way. Stick this guy right here. This guy right here. Fold the whole thing together, make sure everything's lined up how I want it to be. Move some things around before that glue dries. And now what I have is my one long accordion put together with these extra false folds. Now that you've got your papers, this is all your pages for your book. One thing we're going to do is we need to make sure that we save some space for your cover. Now, if you notice that your book kind of doesn't want to sit flat, that's totally fine. What you can do is once you put it away for the night, you can put something heavy on top of it, like maybe a book or a can, and that will weigh it down and that will keep it from sort of popping up like that. But what we need to think about is that the hard cover is going to go on the front and on the back of your book. So here's where your little pencil comes in. I'm just going to take my pencil and just draw a big X right here and an X right here. That way I know I can't draw anything on those pages and I can only draw on the inside. One thing to think about as well is you only want to draw on one side of your book. So once you open it up, this is the inside of your book. This is the inside of your book. This is the inside of your book. And I'll glue the cover to the front and the back. You can spread it out and work on it flat, or you can open it one page at a time and start drawing your book. Next week we will come together. Once you have drawn the pages of your book, you can make this a sketchbook, you can make it a journal, you could do a comic strip or a story from page to page. I'd love to see lots of color in these. You can use Sharpies, markers, whatever you have. And then next week we will come together and we will attach the hard covers to the front and the back.